Hi, welcome to this masterclass of Textbrew. Today we're going to discuss the future of product content, how you can improve the creation of product content using AI. We'll be focusing on how to increase the speed of creating product content from around 30 minutes per product to 30 seconds while keeping your SEO performance on par. And we'll start with the hidden costs of having that poor product content. What we see is that retailers are using the listings that they receive from their suppliers, which they are copy pasting onto their own website, which is causing Google to penalize them as it's duplicate content. We also see that product descriptions take a lot of time to create. I've been creating a lot of product descriptions myself, and it can take up to 30 minutes per product. And it's really impossible to scale, definitely when you're increasing your number of products in your catalog. What we also see is that poor content delivers a lot of returns as the content is not corresponding with the actual product that the customers receive once they buy it, killing profits and also killing trust. So there's a lot of waste in the product creation process. Growing catalogs cause teams to be overwhelmed, and having the inconsistent brand voice. So it's really hard to keep your own tone of voice when you're using the text that your suppliers are giving you. And I also see that generic AI tools are used, like ChatGPT, and it's really hard to create descriptions that are compliant to your own brand voice, but also to do that in bulk, right? To do that for one product is easy, but to do that for 10,000 products is kind of hard within ChatGPT. So, what we're saying is you need to break free from the manual content creation process as it's inconsistent in your brand messaging. It's a costly overhead to have large content teams. It's causing your SEO penalties. It's poor in your quality across the multiple marketplaces which your products are on. We're saying we can be more efficient while you're using TextBrew, using AI to generate that content for you, but not the content that you input yourself, but also content that we provide from other marketplaces. So we start with the EAN code, right? The EAN code is the source of the content, which we are using to look up the product in different marketplaces and use AI to use all those different inputs, the images, but also all the texts and all the attributes that we find to generate that one single product in your own tone of voice. We can do that in multi languages and also with quality control on it, right? So without the hallucinations and with a lot of customization options. So you can express how long your title needs to be and also the attributes. So we can create all these content fields, right? Whether it's the title, product tags, attributes, expert reviews. So my name is Tachmy. I'm the co-founder of Textbrew. I've been in e-commerce for quite some time. Worked at this large retailer in the Netherlands called Coolblue. Learned a lot about growing companies within e-commerce. Also had a consultancy company within e-commerce. And after building a scraper for scraping price data, we thought we can do a lot more with the data that we scrape. So why not scrape the data behind the products themselves, like the titles, the attributes, the images, and input those images into AI in order to make perfect product content within your own tone of voice. So there are a lot of myths that I want to talk about within AI content because there's a lot of people that are mentioning, okay, but Tahmid, AI content is nice, but it's hurting my SEO. And that's something that has really changed because the narrative used to be AI content is not valuable for Google. But now Google is rethinking that AI content or human content doesn't matter because it matters whether it brings value to the user, right? So that they have that EEAT, bringing that expertise and trustworthiness and authoritativeness, then that will pass. So it really depends on what you give as an input, not in terms of the prompt only, but also in terms of the images that you give as an input, or maybe even a manual or a review. So AI content is not hurting your SEO. We see a lot of improvements in the SEO of our clients using the Textbrew product data. It's not that complicated to start with because we only need your EAN codes and your tone of voice. We can create very easily as well. And then you can create your products very easily, right? We have these preset templates. It's even possible to use our API to connect directly from your either back office, whether it's your PIM system or your ERP, sending us the information about the EAN codes, and then we can create the content for you. One of our clients also asked, but we'll be losing our brand voice if you'll be creating, if you let AI create the products, then you can lose your brand voice. But we've made a smart voice analysis. You need to paste a piece of text, putting that into Textbrew, and then we can derive the target audience, the narrative style, the sentence structure, um, the the web shop it's for. You can even enter your forbidden words, right? Either to prevent greenwashing or something. Having another ICP, your ideal customer profile, is very different from being Coolblue, which is a large retailer here in the Netherlands. They're focusing on convenience and ease of use, right? Direct conversational language. So this is the story about a hassle-free work with the Logitech wireless mouse. But if you're a B2B seller selling the same mouse, you'll be probably focusing much more on the professional and business focused USPs, emphasizing productivity and reliability of the product. So you'll be talking about the optimal precision or professional grade mouse virtually working on any surface. So you can tell in your own tone of voice, in your way of speaking to your customers, how we should write the product content for. Creating content is easy, right? If you have the EAN code, you can do it one by one or in a batch. So in this case, this is the EAN code of Lego Mini Orchids. You enter the EAN code, you select your desired language. So in this case, we'll select Dutch, English, and French. Select your tone of voice. We've already created that one earlier. And then you just create, and then you have the Dutch, French, and English language available. What we create is very broad. So we have a lot of fields that we create for you to use on your web shop. So it's the product title, which you can manually set up yourself in terms of length, but also in terms of the sort order. You want to start with the brand or you want to end with the USP. We call it smart titling. USPs, you can mention how many USPs you would like to have, the length of the USP, but also if you would like to start with capitals or not. You can choose your long descriptions, how many paragraphs you would like to have. And I think the most interesting thing is also the product attributes. And in this case, you can mention what the sort order should need to be for these attributes. So in this case, we want to start with the brand and then continue with the model and then continue with the theme when it's a Lego product, for instance. What we also add is honest product content because what we see is using honest product content increases the trust, right? So those visitors on your shop, they have more trust when they see honest product content. And every product has its downside, right? So there are a lot of web shops that are only mentioning and talking about the positive side of the product. But in this case, while pricier than artificial orchids, its interactive building experience justify the cost, right? Premium Lego pricing may be steep for some buyers, so this is really actually a con, and really gives an like a more 360-degree overview of the product because every product has its downside. A few case studies to discuss. So we're currently working together with this large multi-channel retailer in DIY. We've helped them scale their product content where there's still a manual process within that company, but they are using our data as a base, and then they are enriching that even more with a manual content team, right? They've reduced the content creation time and increased their SEO performance using the Textbrew content. Also working together with this online pharmacy. So this is something in Europe that we have strict regulations, which you can mention about products that pharmacy sells. And we've been using regulatory compliance documents and made sure that the output that comes out of Textbrew is consistent. We've been reducing the compliance review time for this. Some questions that we often receive. So, does AI generated content harm SEO rankings? In Google's opinion, it's not hurting SEO rankings as long as it's bringing something to the table, right? It's the experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. As long as the input of the AI is better, the prompt is better, then you can create better SEO optimized content using AI. Right. So we've been seeing higher rankings replacing those generic descriptions that you receive from your supplier. So we only need one of the questions that we receive is how many input data do you require in order for Textbrew to work? It's basically the EAN code. If we have that, we can scrape the data out of it. And you can also input additional data from your own PIM system, for instance. You can use the PIM system and also enrich data using the EAN code that we find on other marketplaces. So it's working for products from your own PIM system without EAN codes. You can use it for that as well. But basically, we only need the input data EAN code. Can you also handle multilingual content creation? Definitely, we do different languages Dutch, French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Polish out of the box, including English. Additional languages are on request. How do we maintain brand consistency? So we have like three main parts which we use. One is analyzing the tone of voice first, right? So we call it smart voice analysis, where we analyze your piece of text and then we convert that into a certain narrative style, a certain sentence structure, your tone of voice. And we're using that for every product that you generate. We also have custom profiles where you can mention your title formats, your USP structures, your attribute formatting. And for every product type that you select, you can choose which profile you want. In that case, we're not only following the tone of voice, but also we're using your setup of how a title should look like. And then we also have some content safety controls, which are making sure that you're not using forbidden words in your market. So we have some checks and restrictions on safety controls. So what about integrating this into your own stack, right? So we currently have a web application where you can just log in and create your products and then export the data into a CSV, or you can also export that into a Excel or a CSV export with HTML elements in them. So you can import that into your own web application, to your own front end. There's also an API available which you can use to create content right from your back office, right? And then the content is created, and then that content is available in that API. So how scalable is Textbrew for large catalogs? We do bulk processing. It can handle up to 10K SKUs at the same time. We'll put everything in a batch, and everything is created one by one on the background in a process, so you don't have to worry about that. So Textbrew is definitely scalable for large catalogs. Can we trial before committing? Of course. You can test out 10 products for free. Monthly plans allow cancellation every month. Textbrew really transforms the product content creation process, right? So we reduce the creation time from 30 minutes to around 5 minutes when you're still manually reviewing that product and also want to enrich that even further. We boost the SEO performance to make sure that the brand voice is consistent throughout all those products. So without effort, you can still scale when your catalog is growing. So book a demo when you're interested. We'll analyze your content workflow. We can identify quick wins for your business, create a custom implementation plan, and we can also test out 100 products for you, right? So we can check for you how would the products look like. The only thing we need is 100 EAN codes for that. Thanks for watching this masterclass. My name is Tachmy. Feel free to contact me through LinkedIn or email. Good luck with your product content journey.